Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the different entry systems available on modern wetsuits and what might be the benefits of each one and the downsides of each one to help you make a decision as to what might be best for you. So you've got the number one, the back zip, you've got number two, the chest zip, and then you've got number three, which has been a bit of a new entry, which is the Zipless wetsuit. So what we're going to do is going to sort of basically give you an example of each and how they're constructed. Typically, and then what the benefits and the downfalls of each entry system may be. So who it's going to suit and who it's not going to suit, basically. So number one, if we start with the back zip. Okay, now the back zip has been the suit or the entry system that's been around the longest. It's pretty much self-explanatory. Obviously, you've got the zip at the back. Okay, now what I'm going to do is going to switch to an alternative camera here. So the benefits of a back zip obviously goes quite low down here, you can see to the lumbar, okay? And now if I open that up, you can have a look inside. Now all of the zips that we have typically these days are specially made zips which don't corrode or clog up with salt. Underneath the zip of the suit, if we open up here, is the back panel. Now this has got many different names, but back wing, back panel, these sort of things. But essentially it's a piece of neoprene underneath the back zip. Basically any water that comes in through the suit, instead of going straight into the suit, is met with this back panel and drained out of the wetsuit, okay? Some of them won't come with an over-the-head piece, but this one does. This one goes up and over the head, which is quite typical, and basically that means that any water that flushes through your neck, instead of going into the suit, some of that water will be guided out. But it also allows manufacturers to look, if you look here, you've got stitch in some other sort of materials like a thermal panel to keep you more insulated and offer more technology within the wetsuit. So it's a very, very common thing that you'll see in a suit now, and it's very, very effective. Now, the primary benefits, so pros of the suit, so the type of person that might be looking for a back zip wetsuit, comes down to, let's say the main thing is flexibility, okay? Now, as you get older, you lose a little bit of flexibility, and certain bigger chaps or bigger ladies are not going to be as flexible as someone who's half their size. So with the chest zips and that kind of thing, some people do struggle, especially to get it over their shoulders, over their elbows, if you've had an injury or you've got a bit of back issues. Your manoeuvrability is not going to be what it used to be, or it's not going to be as good as it should, and then you're going to struggle to get the wetsuit sort of over your shoulders, and especially back off again with the chest suit. That's the thing you will often get people in car parks asking for a bit of assistance, and that typically is because you just haven't got the mobility that you once had. And so the back zip offers a solution to that. Obviously, you've got a nice big zip all the way to the bottom, which allows you to open the shoulders up nice and wide, and that's going to give you much more of an entry to actually get into the suit, and then when you're getting it off, it's going to be much easier to peel over your shoulders and then give you the maneuverability you need to then get it over your elbows and off. And so having that sort of flexibility to get in and out of the suit, it's going to suit people that want to be able to sort of get the suit up and down, okay? So if you're jet skiing, it's quite common, sailing, that kind of thing, and if you're doing it on a warm day, and you want to have that versatility to just roll the suit down to your waist, maybe get a bit of sun, cool off or whatever, then the back zip is going to be a good option. So, downsides of the back zip. If I grab the suit back here. Now, flexibility in terms of the actual panelling of the suit comes from having less seams and obviously then less restriction. Now, obviously, if you've got a big zip running down the middle, that will create less flexibility. So there's going to be no flex in that zip or no movement. So one of the biggest downfalls of the back zip suit, obviously, is lack of mobility or movement across that part of the suit. You've got the entry system as well, obviously, with the collar. When you're creating a seal around your neck, you've got two overlapping pieces of neoprene here, okay? Good that you can tighten them and adjust them so you can get the collar just right, but obviously you've then got that overlapping, that doesn't create as good a seal around your neck. So if you can imagine you're duck diving when you're surfing, or if you fall off whatever craft you're riding, there's going to be more of a chance with the back zip of getting flush in through the collar. That's the pros and cons of a back zip. Big plus, flexibility, getting in and out of the wetsuit. Downside is going to be movement and flex in the back of the suit, and then the possibility of getting more flush throughs into the wetsuit itself. Got chest entry suit here. Okay, this will typically be looking at Different variations in terms of whether the zip goes in or whether the zip goes out, and that's down to each manufacturer buying different technology from the year. But essentially, this is how it works. So what we're going to do is zoom in on the front of the wetsuit here. Now, one of the cleverest things about a chest entry system is the actual entry system is sewn over the top of the wetsuit. So what we do is undo the toggle here, which essentially just keeps the zip in place and stops it opening. And then again, you've got that specially treated zip. Okay, but we go up and over, and then this is the inside of the suit. So this outer part is then sewn over the top, and then you've got these two pieces which meet in the middle, so you can open them nice and wide. That's the inside of the suit. The idea being that any water that does come in through the collar or up through the side, instead of going actually into the suit, there will be drain holes in different parts of the suit just to drain it out of the chest entry system. So if you do find a little hole on the sort of arm of the suit or around the back of the suit, lower down the bottom here, there's a couple of little drain holes, and basically they are there for a reason. That's just to let water out of the chest entry system. But if we come back here then, so pros and cons of a chest zip wetsuit. Now, with a chest entry wetsuit, you're going to be kind of rolling it down to the waist, turning it inside out down to the waist, then pulling it on, and then getting up and over your body. And again, we've done a separate video on that. But it's not as easy as a back zip, because there's going to be more restraint around the top of the wetsuit. You're going to be sort of much more wriggling and moving and trying to get the suit up and over your arms. And especially when you're getting out of the suit, there's a lot of sort of trying to pull it over your shoulder and a lot of sort of wriggling and moving to get out, which is great when you're 21 years old and wriggling and moving comes easy. As you sort of get older and a bit chunkier, you're going to have less mobility, especially if you've had shoulder injuries or shoulder stiffness. Okay, so if mobility is an issue, then you might not want to be looking at a chest zip. But having said that, if you can get the chest zip on, there are definitely a few benefits. Okay, comfort being number one. What it'll allow you to do, obviously, once you have the suit on, is lose that zip down the back. Okay, so much more flexibility in the lumbar. Around the lower part of the back, and so if you're doing something which requires a lot of movement in your back, you're really going to feel that extra freedom that not having a zip there gives you. And obviously, having an unbroken collar or neck seam around the top here is really beneficial to keeping water out, and it's comfortable as well because you don't have any Velcro or anything rubbing on your neck. The suit is less likely to bauble where you're sort of undoing and doing up the Velcro, and you've obviously got less chance of flush through, so it's nice and comfy around your neck. It creates a really good seal. So those are primarily the biggest benefits of a chest zip, I'd say. Keeping water out and comfort, the addition of different technologies. Having a zip on the front, some people prefer. It's nice and easy to do. You don't have to reach around it. You can just flick it open and out. But they are, in my opinion, better at keeping water out of the wetsuit. Keep water out of the wetsuit. Now, last on the list is the zip-free wetsuit. It was really Rip Curl recently that have really pioneered the chest entry system, the zip-free system, off the back of the using the sort of the chest entry system as a template, basically. So the zip-free system works quite similar to the chest zip, and what we do is I'll sort of show you kind of close up here how that looks. Okay, so again you've got the toggle, which allows you just basically to sort of pull tight the chest entry system around the shoulder. And you can pull that off and then just sort of catch it into place, and that'll allow you to sort of get a bit of tightness over the shoulder there and stop any water coming up through the inside here. And if I pull the suit inside out here, you can have a little look. Again, you've got the inside part of the suit there. Okay, and now that is, again, if any water enters the chest entry system, the zip-free system, again, it's just going to be guided out. So you've got the zip-free system here, and if we turn that back inside out, and we'll talk to you about the pros and cons of this. Okay, so con, obviously, number one is what you're thinking is how on earth you're getting in and out of that suit. And the way to do it, because this would look like a nightmare to get in and out, again, is to turn it inside out down to the waist. Okay, you turn it inside out down to the waist so it's like a pair of trousers and pull it on that way. And then the struggle you're going to find is obviously that restriction you have, or the narrowness there, you're going to feel as you move up with your body, and then really sort of dipping in your shoulders into each side becomes even more difficult than the chest zip. So that's why the zip-free suits have been particularly popular with obviously younger people with more flexibility. It's not really going to be a viable option if that's something you struggle with. The zip-free benefits are flexibility, because if you can imagine, you've got even less working parts, if you like. No zip across the front, you've got more movement in the front of the suit, less sort of panelling on the inside and that kind of thing, and more unrestricted seams over the shoulder. It's going to give you ultimate flexibility and movement. So when people are marketing a comp suit or like a competition suit or a pro suit or something like that, we're talking about flexibility, and the zip-free entry system really goes hand in hand with that, because it's really stripping the suit down, and it's meaning that you've got less restriction basically and loads of movement. So that is the primary benefit. But one other thing worth mentioning as well, with the less working parts and the less bits and pieces that are technical, like zips and that kind of thing, and sort of the entry closures where it open up and you've got the different seams in different places which can go wrong. So with the zip-free system, as you can imagine, it's pretty damn robust, and without zips to be a fail, then you've probably got more chance of having more shelf life of the suit. So, hope that's been of use to you, but essentially those are the pros and cons of the different ways of getting in and out of your wetsuit. You've got number one, you've got your back zip, which is going to be getting in and out of your wetsuit is a pro. Okay. Downside to that is going to be less movement in the back of the wetsuit and possibly more flush into the wetsuit. Okay. Then you've got the chest entry system. Chest entry system is going to be a much more flexible wetsuit in the back of the wetsuit. It's also going to create a better seal around your neck, so less flush into the suit. And then the downsides of the chest entry suit, obviously going to be getting in and out is much harder to do. And then you've got the zip free. Again, that's going to be the plus sides are going to be stopping water getting in the suit. You've also got the plus of having loads of flexibility, total unrestricted flexibility through the chest and through the back of the suit as well. Okay, and then less things that can go wrong. Downsides, they can be a nightmare to get in and out of. Okay. And do check out our video of how to get in and out of a chest entry suit. If it's a purchase you've already made and you're struggling a little bit, hopefully that'll be of help. And look out for a suit we're doing, a video we're doing soon, which is going to be how to show you how to get in and out of a zip-free wetsuit, and some nifty little techniques which may help you there as well. But for now, it's Jeff at the Wetsuit Centre, and we'll see you next time.